And we are back. Vin and Dave's Destination Unknown. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good. You might be able to hear from my voice that I'm like a little under the weather, but I have my tea, my decaffeinated green tea right here, and I have my glass of 2009.
Yeah, this thing's pretty cool. Brooklyn West Tempranillo 2009. Check that bottle out. That's kind of sweet.
Now, we've had some Brooklyn West wine before. This is coming from Christina, who's been kind to the show before as a wine sponsor, and sent us over 2 bottles this week from Brooklyn West. I thought I would break out the Tempranillo this week. Also got Cenobar, who sent us quite a bit of wine, sent a great bottle. We'll do that next week. So thank you to both of those ladies.
Yes, indeed.
Fantastic. Anybody who wants to be a wine sponsor, you can go to vinarmani.com/wine and sign up over at Wink, get a gift card, and shoot that to us. Or if you want to send it yourself, you can always get in contact with us, show@vinarmani.com. Or if you just want to give us the money, and we will go and get our own damn wine because we're adults. You can do that as well, and you can do that at you can just go on Bitbacker, and that is bitbacker.io/powerchat/vinarmani. If you look in the show notes, someone is asking for it right now. If you look in the show notes, folks, it should be right there. But again, it's bitbacker.io/powerchat/vinarmani. Someone's asking for it in the chat. I'll just pop it on in there. Let's see. And I will be checking Bitbacker, and we will answer questions. Maybe if people have a few comments, I'll do my best. I'm not always the best at because the conversation is so stimulating. So I'm not always the best at getting over to Bitbacker, but I'll try to do that.
Yeah, karaoke requests.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll try to remember. A lot of the show today is about memory. I called it Down the Memory Hole. There's been a lot of... we were initially going to do something that was memory related. That was going to be about the Mandela effect. I just did a video on that because I had a weird experience happen. Ironically enough, with the fact that there was this thing that happened in New Zealand, and that's in the news today. I guess it was technically yesterday in New Zealand that it occurred, this mosque shooting, horrible mosque shooting. But what was interesting was that I actually had a video not removed from YouTube, something else altogether.
You got a warning sticker, my friend.
Yeah, a warning label. I didn't put up a screenshot of that, but I'll find it at some time and I'll throw it up for people so that they can see how truly odd this situation was. And so it got me going down. I was thinking about it. I was talking about it. I did this video about it. And it was interesting because what the video was about the Manchester bombing at the Ariana Grande concert. Mm-hmm. And it was going and looking at, it was on the Vin Armani show. So this was back in May 2017. And it was going and looking at how the narrative had changed over time. Mm-hmm. Going and finding these articles that said one thing, and then all of a sudden they said another thing, and all of a sudden there's like, there's some person who's involved over here, and then all of a sudden there's not, and then there's this weird thing happening over here, and then nobody talks about it over here, and it's like there was just that was constantly going on. And what they said was they sent me a letter, and they said an email, and they said, you haven't violated the community guidelines. Your video doesn't violate the community guidelines, but it's this new class of video. Mm-hmm. Where what you did was you said that a widely reported event didn't happen.
But you never said that.
No, I didn't. And so this is what's interesting is that I actually did an appeal. Mm-hmm. They were like, it's been flagged by the YouTube community. I actually did an appeal and said, oh no, I never said that it didn't happen. As a matter of fact, we were saying it did happen, but we were critiquing the media for their reporting. There was no, and they actually took the warning sticker off.
Nice.
But it was just interesting to me that it happened in the first place.
Yeah. Like, did somebody report it, or was it detected by Zola's algorithm?
So this is what I think. That because I was like, why that video? We did that that was so much of the show. Mm-hmm. Like the first hour of the show was a media critique, basically, for the most part. And so we did that with Las Vegas, the Manchester bombing, the Christmas market truck terrorism attack, the Russian hacking, all kinds of, I mean, you name it. Anything that was happening during that time, we were critiquing the media narrative, because the whole first hour of the show was really all about doing these deep dives into the narrative and being like, okay, what's really going on, right? That was what the show was all about.
Yep.
That was the only one that got flagged. And so I was looking at like, well, was there anything different about this? And the interesting thing is that none of those, we never would really put the metadata. It's different. We did it on the Las Vegas shooting, but we never would really put the metadata. It would just be like who the interview was. That would be what was in the show notes. So this didn't say anything about the Manchester bombing or anything like that in the metadata. So that couldn't have gotten flagged. But then I was like, okay, so what's different? What was different on this one was we had done an interview with Jack Spirko, and for some reason our machine, either our machine or our connection cut off or something happened where we had to like go down, reconnect to him, and it ended up with us having two separate live sort of streams that were archived. And so I ended up cutting them back together and then reposting it up. So what was different about it was the rest of them had been live streams, whereas this one had been an upload. So I'm thinking that during the processing of the upload is probably where the algorithm is, either shunting something off, or that there's something different about uploads as versus live streams in terms of the way that they're launching this algorithm on them, or maybe it was in 2017.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. But that was something that was an anomaly.
But why did it take so long? Right. Because you put out the video in 2017,
very strange.
But then you just got the email a month ago.
New policy. New policy.
Interesting.
And I find it interesting that it's like a week before this terrorist attack. Also, Zero Hedge got banned from Facebook, where you couldn't share Zero Hedge articles. And they do a very similar thing on Zero Hedge, where they do a lot of analysis of media narratives.
Yeah. Well, it needs to be analyzed, and it needs to be analyzed because the media, and this goes into the memory holing and the Mandela effect, and I thought you did a great job on that video. That was a really good video.
Thank you.
And everybody listening should definitely go listen to it, because
it's called the consensus crisis.
Yeah, and I love the point about, and I think one of the commenters on the video made this point as well, that it used to be that you had to rely on your memory or some reference work, like a book, right? But now people are relying on Google. It's like, if it's in Google, if it seems to confirm what your memory is, then your memory is correct.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
If what you find in Google doesn't confirm your memory, then your memory is wrong. There's never this, well, Google must be wrong, or the sources that Google is pulling up must be wrong.
Well, Google can't be wrong, right? That's the whole thing about Google, is like it's infallible. And Google has become it's really become our brain. And I think it's an important point about, people worried about like the AI and we're going to merge with the machines and all this. We already have.
Sure.
Because we've given up our memory to these machines. I mean, I know a lot of people who they simply cannot, even places that they've been multiple times, if they don't have their GPS, they can't do it.
Yeah. And
phone numbers? Do you remember any phone numbers? I don't. I
barely know my own phone number.
That's what I'm saying. I used to know by heart.
Yeah.
At 24 at least, all my friends, I knew their phone numbers by heart.
Well, and how many of those did you actually like figure out words that you could make out of the letters? So
I did all kinds of stuff like that, little jingles in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, for kids listening at home might not be aware, but there used to be letters on phones.
Yep.
Sometime after you had to actually twist a dial around. So it's like stuff like that sticks in your memory a lot better.
No, agreed. And so we've given that up, and that's an important thing because something happened today. So I'll say what happened today, and we can like expand out on this, because the video that I did was about a lot of it about the Mandela effect, because I kind of got into this thing where I was like, oh, isn't that interesting? Like, why would they not want people looking at this Manchester bombing thing? Because we were one of the only people who was like critiquing and being like, if you go and you look after a while, all you can see, like you say, on Wikipedia, you go back to things have gotten scrubbed, like all of this, and it's that memory. It's 1984's memory hole, and it's the idea of why might people start remembering things different than other people, and then how do you find consensus on like what the real memory is? Well, it must be Google,
right?
Like it must be that you go and it's like, okay, what was said, what was the story, what happened. So it's this weird thing that if you can control what exists now, like that's what Orwell says in 1984. The statement is, the person who controls the past controls the present, and he who controls the present controls the future, and that was the whole idea of. So the memory hole is the Ministry of Truth in 1984. The Winston, who is the protagonist. He works for the Ministry of Truth, and he rewrites old stories. Sometimes crazy, like putting in pictures of people who didn't exist, writing stories, whatever, and then they'll take the old stories and they'll throw them, they'll open up, there's all these portholes all over the Ministry of Truth. They'll open up the porthole, throw it in. It's an incinerator that basically like incinerates it all. And so throughout, you see these weird situations where people are actively like destroying reality to craft false memories.
Yes.
So there's one scene that's crazy where there's like a parade going on, and then all of a sudden in the middle of it they switch who they're at war with. So there's the three, and it's like you hear throughout there, we were always at war with East Asia, or we were always at war with Eurasia, and then people are like, but were we? I feel like we might have been at war with East Asia at some point. And they're like, no. We've always been at war with Eurasia. Mm-hmm. And there's one scene where there's a parade where all of a sudden they switch who they're at war with. And people are literally going up and ripping down posters. That was like, they start to go to war with East Asia, and people are ripping down anti-Eurasia posters that are literally right in front of them. And it's civilians doing it. Mm-hmm. Because they've been so trained to like, no. It has to be the official narrative. It has to be they've got so much cognitive dissonance that they will literally go and do the work for the propagandists.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that like the smoke-filled room?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Because if the people around you agree with the narrative,
yes,
then it must be correct. And
well, you don't want to fall out with the tribe. That's right. Like that meant death to our caveman ancestors.
Sure, yeah. And so that part of our brain that still reacts to that, mm-hmm. It still has that preservation circuit. And so if everybody is sitting, if you're in a room with 5 people and the room starts to fill with smoke and everybody but you is completely unaffected, and you're sitting there, your eyes are watering and it's, you're coughing, it's getting smoky, you're like, well, everybody else is acting normal, so there must not be anything wrong. So I'm just going to act normal.
And this is real. I mean, this is a Princeton study. That's the smoke-filled room study, and like it's literally real. That is how people behave. Is that they will just sit there and be like, okay, I guess that's it. So what I found was interesting. Like I said, we had done all of these stories, mm-hmm. and one of the, this is what's so interesting about the Manchester bombing thing, that a week before they would take this down was that we were specifically in there. Towards the end, I showed stories of how the FBI has been, and other intelligence agencies and national police services have been manufacturing terrorist attacks and then arresting people who participate. So they'll like go out and find some sort of mentally slow individual, and the FBI will radicalize them.
Yes.
They will go through this whole thing of turning them into a terrorist. The FBI will be undercover pretending to be terrorists. Now, this person was not a terrorist. Like maybe they had said something online or done something, and traditionally it was young Muslim men. And then they'll do something where they'll like give them fake weapons or fake bombs.
Yeah.
They'll think that they actually have these bombs, and then they'll arrest these guys.
Yep. And before anybody thinks that this is something that only ever occurred in Alex Jones's imagination, this is a real thing. And
yeah, no, this is completely. If you go and look FBI terrorism entrapment online, you'll see that they took away the terrorist joint task force because this kept going on.
Yeah, and so entrapment evolved. It used to be, okay, this guy is looking to, sell cocaine to fund his wacky car manufacturing idea. And so they would set up agents to, do the buying and selling, whatever. Right. But it evolved and it got better. And as the intelligence agencies got better at doing their job, they started targeting more susceptible people. So instead of the, businessman who's looking for money, they're targeting mentally ill people who could actually be helped potentially.
Sure.
But what they do is they come in, and a lot of times it's a woman. If it's a straight male, they bring in a woman.
Very often there's a woman involved, yes.
Yep. And so she breaks the ice, gets the process started, introduces the guy to her friends who happen to have, money and bombs and guns and whatever. And they write up a manifesto, and suddenly it's like, we have this whole narrative already laid out. All we got to do is just tip the guy over the edge.
That's it.
Let's post about it on 8chan, because apparently 4chan, maybe it's a thing of the past, I don't know, but they posted this on 8chan and Twitter.
Yep. And there you go. And the thing is that this has been going on. Like what we're describing has been going on. And so in the Manchester video, that's what I was at the end. I just went through all these articles and all of these lawsuits. There's lawsuits being brought by people who are like, my client's falsely imprisoned off. This is what they did. There was never a terrorist cell. They radicalized him.
Yeah.
He's like mentally deficient in some way, and they fucking radicalized him and then gave him these bombs, and then they arrested him for having the bombs.
Yep.
And so those are the ones where they actually arrest the person and give them fake bombs. But you've got to figure that there could be a situation where, and why not? And that's what I thought about the Manchester bombing, was there were so many discrepancies. And the fact that this dude was like, just did this solo, but then there were all these weird, like there were multiple apartments rented and all of this stuff going on. And I was like, I don't know. And then there were people like, no, there was more than one person over at this apartment. Oh, that gets shunted off to the side. Same thing, that there were things going on with the Stephen Paddock, the Las Vegas shooter.
Oh, yeah.
That everybody was like, oh yeah, he was walking around here with some woman. There was some woman that we kept seeing him with. Some woman. Oh, did they ever find the mystery woman? No.
But we've talked about that on this show before, that she was likely the instigator of this entire thing.
Sure.
Now, is this being done by law enforcement? Is this being done by the government? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, there could be.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, when you're talking about the intelligence agencies, that could be foreign governments. That could be. There are some, let's say, non-governmental entities who have the wherewithal, capability, and funds to be able to pull off things like that.
Totally.
It could be multiple intelligence agencies. And so what I found interesting, so this happened today. So I'll show people these. And what was funny was I did a tweet. And then immediately, it didn't take very long for this whole thing to pan out. So there weren't a lot. But what I was hoping was that there would be people who would be like, oh, no, come on, man. Alex Jones, a tinfoil hat. And then they would have egg on their face because I knew exactly how this was going to pan out. So this was what I tweeted. Here we go. I tweeted this tweet. It said, "I'll just leave this here. 4 people were arrested after this New Zealand mosque massacre. Watch how the other 3 disappear into the memory hole. That's because they were the state intelligence operatives who organized the shooting and convinced the low IQ shooter to do it." And so while this whole thing was going on, I was sort of like watching CNN because I was going to watch it as it shifted and changed. And so there was an update. So I posted this at 9:28 a.m. Eastern time. All right. And how did I know that there had been 4 people arrested? Well, because I had seen this CNN update, and it's a little small here. Hold on. Nope, that's the other one. That was, let's see. Yes, this is the first one. It's at 9:19 a.m. So just before I did that tweet, and it says, "What we know so far about the New Zealand terror attack." And so it talks about the at least 49 people were killed, 20 seriously injured. Then it says, "Here's what we know so far." And it's got 2 bullet points. One is the victims. It says 41 people were killed, blah, blah, blah. And then the second bullet point is the suspects. Police said 4 people were taken into custody, 3 men and 1 woman.
You don't say.
They do not believe there are any other suspects, but said it was still an open investigation. Okay, so then I went back just a few minutes later, and this was also, so that was there, and that was also the top update. So then more updates came in, and there was a top summary, right? And I was like, okay. So I went back and looked at the top summary, 48 dead in terror attack at New Zealand mosques, and it says catch up. It says terror attack on mosques. At least 49 people were killed and 20 seriously injured, blah, blah, blah. Then it says, and I found this very interesting, and it's why it stood out to me. It says, the next bullet point, the suspects, plural, just like it said before. Except now it had changed. So it still says the suspects, plural, and then it says, a man in his late 20s has been arrested and charged with murder. The authorities found an 87-page manifesto filled with anti-immigrant and Muslim ideas. And I was like, whoa. So then I tweeted again and said, okay, here it is. It's starting. They're starting the memory hole. They're starting the memory hole. And then there were a few people who were like, no, man, you're you're reading too. Look at the date stamp on it, whatever. And I was like, okay, well, all right. Let's see if it switches back then. They were like, oh no, that lone gunman one was before. And I said, well, why would they have put it as plural, the suspects, if the first thing that they wrote was about a single guy?
Yeah, and the time between 4 arrests have been made and 1 person has been arrested and charged with murder. The arraignment process takes time. It's not something that you just, walk in and do in half an hour.
Unless it's already ready to go.
That's true.
So that was, and mind you, this is 9:19 Eastern that this is posted. That is 2:19 a.m. In New Zealand time.
Yep.
So then while this is going on and I'm having a little back and forth with the individuals who are like, Vin, you got your tinfoil hat on. You're really reaching. You're really reaching, Vin. That is a reach. Then all of a sudden, oh, lo and behold, what do we have? 10:10 pops up. That previous 9:19 update, gone in the wind.
Wow.
And now we have the same, so people who are watching can see, you have your 9:19 one. Oh no, they've taken all of the text and that same little image, what we know so far about the New Zealand terror attack. Now it's at 10:10, and the victims, yeah, same, and then no more of the suspects, just the suspect. And you go through that whole page, no longer is there any mention of 4 people. It's only a lone gunman.
Wow.
That's it. And it was kind of nice to see people be like, oh, okay. all right, yeah, I guess, okay, my bad. Because it happened so fucking fast.
Yeah.
It happened so fast.
Yep.
And it was like, that's the memory hole. Because now you go back and it's, because even someone was asking it, what was interesting was that someone was asking, oh, do you have a link to that 4 suspects thing? Do you have a link? And I was like, okay, yeah, here you go. Here's the link. But luckily I had taken screenshots. Here's the link. But had you read that tweet and gone and clicked on the link and there was no screenshot, you would have been like, sorry, Vin, there's no 4 suspects here.
Yeah. And think about somebody who's just catching up on the news, say around 11 or 12 o'clock.
And they would have been like, dude, what are you even talking about here? I'm looking at the article.
Yeah.
The article says, it doesn't say anything about 4 people. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There was not 4 people.
Obviously just one radicalized guy, and he acted alone, and he got a bunch of weapons and 2 IEDs, you know, so
that they defused, no problem.
Yep. And you know, apparently there were other people shot 3 miles away. So he had a moped or something?
And he wrote an 87-page manifesto, which that was for me where I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I'm a writer. I've written 2 books. I've written hundreds of articles. He did not write an 87-page manifesto. That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie.
Mm-hmm.
He did not. Not this guy. No. People who write 87 pages of shit do not go... If you can write an 87-page manifesto, you are not motivated to go and shoot up a mosque. Let's just put it like that.
But it's expected, right? Like when we sell the story to the public, what they expect is for it to be a younger male who has a certain look, a certain ideology, and has written a manifesto. I mean... Everybody's got manifestos, man.
You gotta have you got to have a manifesto. Yeah. You really got to have a manifesto.
Because what good character, you know, in a narrative doesn't fit the narrative, you know?
You know, the people who are... Here's a guy who's deciding he's going to live stream this shit, right? Mm-hmm. He does a manifesto as opposed to... a sit-down video like a real terrorist where he explains why he did everything and all of this and then he posts it up. No, instead he writes an 87-page manifesto. Come on, man. and the thing is, 87... Has anybody actually seen this manifesto? That's the thing.
My question is, did he type it? Did he write it by hand? Was it just something on the computer?
Nobody's seen it.
Nobody's seen it.
Nobody's seen it. And also, I don't know that anybody's even seen this supposed live stream video.
Oh, no. And the government of New Zealand said that it would likely be illegal if anyone viewed it or shared it.
Yeah, viewed it. If you view it or share it. I had seen, I believe it was CNN, who said the video, and this has not been verified by CNN. So they're reporting on what's on a video. A professional news organization is reporting on what's on a video that they haven't seen.
Oh, of course. I mean, that does not surprise me. It may surprise a lot of people in the audience, but to me, I'm just like, oh, of course.
And also was posted on an account believed to belong to the shooter.
Right, which was then immediately taken down.
Right, not his personal Facebook, not his personal Twitter, an account believed. Now, did they put it on 8chan?
Yeah, so...
Isn't 8chan anonymous?
No, 4chan. So okay. 4chan is the home of Anonymous.
Right.
8chan is kind of like its special little brother.
Okay. And now I believe Zero Hedge just reported that 4chan has been banned in New Zealand now. If you try to get to 4chan from New Zealand,
of course,
it's been blocked by the country.
That's the first place that they're going to post that video. I mean, that video, you know, it's going to be everywhere.
And you've got to believe that the reason they don't want you to see the video is because either, one, there is no video. That's what I believe. I believe there might not be a video. I really believe that. I would love if someone in the chat would tell us if they believe that if they've seen a video.
Yeah, somebody go out to 4chan and watch the video. Tell us about it.
Yeah, somebody tell us. Let's see. Zero Hedge's article had links to some of the live stream videos. I only saw one. It showed the guy circling around the room, letting off rounds in people that still looked alive. Okay, I'll have to go and look at that.
Now, does this look like GoPro footage, or does it look like police body cam
Yeah,
footage?
is he showing his face while he does it? Is he like selfieing and like? I mean,
This will look great on Instagram.
yeah, it seems again when you can make a prediction about something that is about to happen, and the thing is that was a scrub, because this was a page where these updates were constantly coming in. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they did a new update where they said, "Oh, police have now said that, they have released the other 3 suspects and now they're only holding this one person." No, they completely scrubbed the idea that there ever were any other people arrested.
Yeah. Just gone.
On an update page, not like on a single story. That's what people got to understand. This page still has rolling updates on it. So you would have thought if they were updating, then what you would update is, oh, well, now it's been reduced down to just the one. Oh, no. They literally went back and scrubbed that whole thing that they had said.
Remember back in the day when newspapers actually had to publish retractions and corrections?
Right.
It was actually like, okay, we've printed this thing. We're not going to go back and confiscate the newspapers and then, just completely wipe it out. We're actually going to, say, okay, that was a mistake that we made. Here's a new version that does not contain a mistake.
They don't do that anymore.
No, why would they?
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
And that's when it gets dangerous, is that people say, oh, you put something up on the internet, it lives forever. That's a lie.
Total lie.
That's a fucking lie. That you don't understand how this shit works.
No.
Not at all. There's nothing to say that it has to live in the form that it's that could change tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And how would you know? Because you pushed off your whole memory. Mm-hmm. I'm someone who's in the habit of screenshotting. Like, I screenshot a lot. I'll usually screenshot and share links for that exact reason. That it's like, if somebody sees the link and they're like, oh, well, that's gone out of there. And it's like, oh, yep, scrubbed. Mm-hmm. Scrubbed.
Yeah. And the dangerous part is it's not even like there's a unique link, right? It's like, oh, okay, I have a unique link to this particular page on this website. And now that page is 404. It's missing.
Oh, there's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that, but not in this case. In this case, right. It was literally like the same link. They just changed the content.
Oh, yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
And with no sort of mention that it had been changed. And here's what's crazy. They changed the content. So they changed the update. Mm-hmm. So you figured you had updates and they would get put on top of each other. So you had the most recent update first. So this 9/19 update is buried about 4 back. There's like the Obamas are saying their condolences. The Queen of England is saying shit, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's like 4 back. They went back, scrubbed this one from inside and reposted it under another timestamp underneath things that I was like, wow.
Wow, it's almost like they were ordered to do that.
Well, this is where this is where the conspiracy theory part comes in. And the problem that I have now is I think that there has been very effective counterintelligence operations going on within the alternative media community. Like, I think that because people were responding, they saw what I had said, and they were responding like, oh yeah, those were just crisis actors, like it never happened and all this. And I'm like, hold on. You've taken it a bridge too far. Mm-hmm. Because now you're saying that it's like hundreds of people involved in a conspiracy that would have only taken 5 people to pull off.
Yeah.
What is, when you can have real bodies at the cost of a 5-person conspiracy, or crisis actors, and somebody might talk and these people aren't actually dead, they didn't actually die, and all of it. And it's like, that's a lot more complicated than just getting one simple-minded person to do a terrible thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing that I don't think people fully appreciate is there are elements within all the governments that are willing to go to any lengths to do anything, regardless of its morality or the ethics involved. They will literally do anything to accomplish the mission, get the thing done, whatever it is. So that, we would have the situation where potentially, a female operative came in, seduced this guy, introduced him to other players, worked on their 87-page manifesto together, planned this whole thing.
Or they just wrote the 87-page manifesto.
Oh, sure.
And he had no idea because it was posted like the day or a few hours before or whatever. He wouldn't have had to have any idea that there was a manifesto.
Absolutely not. He didn't have to know anything other than, here's what I want you to do, baby. I want you to go shoot that place up, blah, blah, blah. It's full of bad people.
Well, she probably had a even, better story than that. Like it was probably something like, they raped her or something like that, it was like, and he probably felt like he was, defending the honor of whatever, or that they had grooming gangs and that they, showed him pictures of maybe child abuse or some things like that. Cause they've got that shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I was a child bride, that kind of thing. And
exactly.
Then, these people did this to me.
And then he's like, okay. And it gets him worked up. He's fallen in love with this woman.
Yep. And he's white knighting all over the place.
And he's white knighting, and so you get somebody, because somebody can only do, people who do these sorts of acts are doing them because they feel righteous.
Yeah.
They genuinely feel that they are on the right side of this thing. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, Thanos did. There you go.
Well, I think that's actually a very good point, right? Mm-hmm. Is that Hitler did.
Yeah.
They all did. Stalin did.
Yep.
Maybe Stalin did. Maybe Stalin was just a fucking psychopath. But Lenin probably did. Mm-hmm. I don't know that Fidel Castro did, but Che Guevara certainly did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, any of these, revolutionary leaders, the ones that come in, they have a vision, and they have a vision for the future. The mysterious person who put up the Georgia Guidestones,
right?
Same kind of thing, right? Where it's just like, this is the way the world should be. I'm going to make it that way, and I'm going to right these wrongs, and I'm going to stand up for the powerless and the abused and whatever, and make them pay. And I think that's exactly what happened here.
But those people are always the puppets of the real, I would say, power brokers, of the real people who are crafting history but are keen to keep themselves out of the history books.
Oh, sure.
To keep their influence from out of the history books. And people are like, well, what would be the reason to do this? And it's like, today New Zealand is like, yeah, we are changing our gun laws. Gun laws changed.
Wow.
And look, they've literally started blocking websites.
Yeah.
They blocked 4chan. I mean, it's so interesting where it's like, wait a minute, did 4chan do something here? Was 4chan responsible? Was 4chan responsible? No. We're going to preemptively. Because now what is it about this content? This content is, it's an event that happened. Mm-hmm. Granted, it's a horrific and brutal event. It's someone committing a crime, but there's video of people committing crimes. There's video of people committing murders. They show it on the news. Mm-hmm. They're like, viewer warning, the following material that we're about to show you may be disturbing to certain viewers, right?
Yeah.
Somebody getting hit by a car, somebody getting... Suge Knight, when he killed the guy and he ran over him with his car, they were showing that. They were showing the video of him doing that. There's been all kinds of these things. Mm-hmm. And it's not like they banned it from public television. They banned it from a place where you would voluntarily go looking for this content.
Yeah. And not just from 4chan, but the New Zealand government says that it's illegal for people to watch this video regardless of the source. It's illegal for them to watch the video. It's illegal for them to share the video. They're basically saying that you do not have access to this, we're going to prevent you from having access to this information. We don't care how newsworthy it is, how valid it is. It's just too disturbing to watch. And that was their reasoning, is that it could upset people. And so they actually have a law that says that you cannot, show video that could offend or upset people.
I mean, was that an existing law in New Zealand?
Yeah.
So people ask, well, why did this take place in New Zealand? Well, that's why it took place in New Zealand. It took place in New Zealand because they already had that law. And so it's a test case.
Yeah.
I mean, look, New Zealand, the head of state of New Zealand, people need to remember, the head of state of New Zealand is the Queen of England. It is in the Commonwealth of the Crown. She is the ruler of New Zealand. It belongs to the UK. Yes, they have a prime minister, but that's all they've got is a fucking prime minister. Mm-hmm. That's not the head of state. The head of state, just like the head of state of Canada, Australia, those belong to England, the Queen of England. Go. This you can Google. This you can Wikipedia. The head of state of all of these fucking places is the Queen of England. MI5 is operating in these countries. MI6 is operating in these countries. Like this is, and so you see these things happening and it's like, okay, we need a test case. So how can we institute the mass censorship that we want to? How could we block a website and have the public embrace it?
Yeah.
And have the public call for it? Because that's the key.
Yeah.
The key, you can't just do shit. You have to have the public demand that you do it.
Right.
That's the problem, reaction, solution. So it's like, how do we get the public to demand that we do this and more?
Yeah. Because this is just the beginning.
I responded to somebody on Twitter. They were responding to CNN reported this story where this FBI former FBI agent had said, if you share this video, you are basically trying to say you're an accomplice to the crime.
Wow.
If you share this video, you're an accomplice to this crime. And this person was within the thread, and they sort of responded, and they said something to the effect of, this will keep happening until hatred and racism are crimes. And I said, I responded there's a name for that. Orwell coined the term in 1984. That's a thought crime. Yeah. So you want thought crimes. This is a person, because people don't fucking think. How do you get a normal Western citizen of one of these Western countries to look at the pages of 1984 and be like, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I demand that.
Yep.
I demand that thought crimes be punishable.
But haven't we already established that with hate crimes?
No, because hate crimes require you to actually... So hate crimes, I guess, are the stepping stone to the thought crime, right? But to do a hate crime, you actually have to commit a crime, and then the hate in your mind, the racism that was in your mind, becomes a modifier on the sentence.
Correct.
Right? So it's I have to go and punch somebody in the face. I get one sentence if I'm just angry at them, and I get another sentence if I shout a racial epithet while I punch them in the face.
Or even if I just, have the thought in my head.
No, thought in your head is not yet.
Okay.
We're not yet there.
All right.
Oh, you're saying if you have the thought in your head while you're committing the crime.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you have gone online and you've said some racist things in the past and the prosecutor can bring that up, sure.
Okay.
They could prosecute you for hate crimes, and a jury, depending upon the situation, they might find you guilty of a hate crime.
Sure.
That happens.
Yeah. So,
But this person wants it to be, you don't have to actually commit a crime. You just have to be a racist.
Right.
Or hate people.
Right. And that'll be illegal.
Right. Yes.
And, so we have already taken baby steps in that direction. We are.
Oh, it's always frog in a pot. It's
Yeah.
always baby steps. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're already going that direction, and now suddenly we have this event, which brings people together. It galvanizes the support, for that sort of thing. So we have to eliminate racism. We have to eliminate hatred, and the way we're going to eliminate hatred is we're going to put people in prison because they hate people,
or worse.
or worse.
Prison or worse. I mean, why just put them in prison? Well, that's the thing. You can't just put them in prison. I mean, let's take this to its logical conclusion.
Sure.
Right? Let's take it to its logical conclusion. If you just put them in prison, like a normal-ass penitentiary, then the hate's not going away.
No, it'll get worse.
So what sentence can you possibly give them that will be effective? It's either going to get worse or it's just there. So what do you get? It's not a question of what do you get. We know what you get. They're called Reeducation Camps. This has already existed.
Yeah.
You're going to have to re-educate them
Yep.
so that they, and those are the last words of 1984. Winston, he realized he loved Big Brother. He starts out not liking Big Brother. Then he's, spoiler alert, sent to a re-education camp. This is written in 1948, but before all the before these things really happened. It's almost like Mao and Stalin read 1984 as an instruction manual.
Yeah.
And made their re-education camps. And it's like, the idea would be, you're either going to, one, have to kill them, or two, you're going to have to send them to a re-education camp and it can't just because they can't really fake it. You're going to have to be sure that the hate is gone and the racism is gone.
And how do you do that?
1984 is an instruction manual.
Yeah.
It's an instruction. There's a lot of people that read it like an instruction manual, and it is for this, what they're trying to do.
Yeah. And now we have the means to do it because
that's what's crazy.
Back when he wrote the book, it was all still fantasy, right? But today, if you look at, especially London, right? Yeah. Like every square centimeter of that town is on television. They have closed circuit TV covering everything.
Well, I mean, but whether it's London or not, people are voluntarily putting themselves on TV.
Yeah.
With Instagram, with constant posting, with all of this, with taking pictures, with taking video, with doing all of this. It's
house security cameras.
Oh, dude.
That film inside and out.
Fucking Alexa?
Yeah.
AKA wiretap?
Yep.
People are voluntarily putting these things into their homes.
Yep. Even the cell phone, right? It's like, music's playing, look down at my phone, it tells me what music is playing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's super cool. It's listening to every fucking thing that I say.
Well, I think everybody has had the experience where they are out with some friends and they start talking about some topic like, nah, you know what, man? I think I really need to get a new, bed frame.
Yep.
Have you ever had a canopy bed like that? I've always thought canopy beds were really cool. The next day, every ad that they see as they're surfing the web is canopy beds.
Yeah.
Never seen them before.
Yep.
Every ad is fucking canopy beds.
Yeah.
And probably now, tomorrow, I will get ads for canopy beds just because we've had this conversation now and our phones are listening.
I would not be surprised if we just check in about 10 minutes and it's already started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's so we're already there. That's the device. The telescreen is the device in 1984 that's constantly watching. The character Winston has figured out that there's one corner of his apartment that the telescreen can't see. But it's like, Orwell was so prophetic. And it makes sense because he knew that in order to have the dystopia that he envisioned, that there were certain aspects of the way that things needed to be done technologically in order to make that happen. And that as soon as you had those levers, it's fucking curtains.
Yeah.
It's curtains.
And nobody has forced any of this on us.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
What we are doing is giving up our privacy. We're giving up our safety, our security for convenience.
Mark of the beast?
Yeah. And, we're doing it to ourselves. All the iPhones, all the Google phones, the Alexas, the home security systems, all of it. We're doing it to ourselves. Nobody has written a law that says that you have to have one of these home security systems recording. Not yet, right? But, and if you can get a populace to do it to themselves, then you don't have to force them to do it.
Well, I think that this goes to the conversation about vaccines.
Sure.
And because you're talking about like, okay, these home security systems, no one's written a law about it. But, when polio was ravaging through the world, nobody had to make a law that you have to have a polio vaccine.
Right.
When that was the case, everybody's like, give my kid the polio vaccine. Give him the polio. Vaccines. And so then it was like, well, we have this other vaccine. Well, shit, polio was great. So then you do this. And then it's like, we've got this other one. Boom. Okay, I want it. And then you reach a point where it's again, that sort of herd mentality. I love it that they even call it herd immunity. Right. Well, we're trying to give everybody herd immunity. Oh, so if you do it, it's a member of the herd, right? That's what they're communicating. Be part of the herd. Be a member of the herd. Be a member of the herd. Your cattle. Herd, please. Herd. Be a member of the herd. Well, then when people are like, well, but yeah, these things are gone. Like nobody's died from any of these things in a very, very long time. So it's like, maybe we could go back to not having the vaccine. And it's like, no, now we're going to pass a law. But now everybody so you figure if everybody who's got the vaccine is very okay with the idea of, well, we need to have a law because I've got the vaccine.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with there being a law because there's no commitment for them. They're not being forced to do anything. So it's the same thing goes. I think we're going to see that with cameras in the house, with home security, everybody having a home security system. Healthcare.
Yeah.
Obamacare. The mandate. The individual mandate.
Yep.
Right? It's this idea that, well, before, wow, you've got health insurance. That's good. That's a luxury. Right? It's like, wow, that's great. Healthcare. Then it becomes a right, and then it becomes you have to have it, otherwise you're going to be penalized.
Yeah.
You're gonna suffer. You're a criminal.
It's crazy how much, how many people thought it was a great idea before they actually had to write the check.
Exactly.
Then suddenly it was not such a great idea anymore.
That's how it always is.
It is, absolutely. One thing about the vaccines, which it drives me crazy, I think vaccinations and vaccines in general, the concept is great.
Yeah.
I mean, it works. It's a medical fact. It absolutely does work. The problem that I have is that there's no competition in the market.
Right.
Like, okay, we're going to give you this one vaccine. Well, can I have the one without the mercury? No, we have one vaccine. You're going to take that one vaccine. But maybe I don't want all the other garbage that's in it. Doesn't matter. We have one. Well, why can't we have more? Well, because this is the only one approved by law.
Right.
How about we introduce some competition into the market?
No, because intellectual property.
Yeah.
So the most interesting one for anybody who wants to start understanding maybe, or who has an open mind and wants to understand where sort of people who are vaccine skeptics are coming from. The place to start at the beginning, because many people don't know that there is on the vaccine schedule, the standard vaccine schedule in the United States, there is a vaccine that is given literally at birth.
Yeah.
To newborns, unless you refuse it, which I think people who are going to become parents after they hear this will probably think twice before they say, oh, and by the way, they push this one. If you say no, I'd prefer not to, believe me, you will be asked and prodded about a dozen more times So now remember, this is a vaccine being given to a newborn who you wouldn't even give a Tylenol. You wouldn't even give anything other than milk, mother's milk. You are concerned about their immune system and getting sick. This is a tiny, fragile baby. They give them this is what's on the schedule, to give them the hepatitis B vaccine. Now, how do you catch hepatitis B? Well, there are 3 ways that a individual might catch hepatitis B. For the baby, they could catch it from the blood of the mother during birth if the mother is positive for hepatitis B. They could catch it from unprotected sex, or they could catch it from intravenous drug use. So it's a newborn.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be out shooting heroin with the boys. And probably pretty unlikely with the unprotected sex. And I think that the parents can pretty much make sure that doesn't happen. So the only other option is catching it from the mother, who presumably, if she has been doing her prenatal care, has already been tested for hepatitis B. If the mother is negative, now this is what I was told by a particularly vaccine-happy doctor when I presented this to this particular doctor. She said to me, well, there's a window between when the mother might have contracted hepatitis B, again, from unprotected sex with someone who has hepatitis B or intravenous drug use. Between when she would have contracted it, it's maybe a month window between when she would have contracted it and what the test would have seen. And the test is not 100% for sure. So you would want to slam this adult dose, there's only a single dose, there's no special newborn dose, of hepatitis B vaccine into your newborn on the off chance that the mother somehow contracted hepatitis B, within the month of her getting tested, which was at sometime in the middle of the pregnancy.
Wow. Wouldn't it...
And they give the baby 2 doses, by the way. You get one at birth, and then they're going to give you another dose at a week old.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Wouldn't it make sense to improve the test? If we have this antiquated test that has a month-long window, can't we just improve the test?
No, because how many babies are born in the United States every year? Why would you cut us, the pharmaceutical company, out of these insane fucking profits where we've got every nurse, every natal nurse going and saying, hepatitis vaccine? Every pediatrician saying, hit him with another dose? Yeah. And ringing the register every time. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Because how many parents really know, how you're in this, your child is about to be born, especially first-time parents. And here's a nurse, here's a medical professional. And they're like, you're gonna do the hepatitis vaccine, right? To make sure the kid doesn't get hepatitis. And they're like, fucking hepatitis? They don't know what hepatitis is. They don't know what the fuck hepatitis is. Yeah. They're like, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't want my little baby to get hepatitis.
Yeah. That's the thing that Tommy Lee's got, right? I don't want that.
Yeah, no, we can't. Oh my God, baby can't have hepatitis, and it's wow.
Yeah.
And the other important thing about the hepatitis B vaccine, it's no longer effective by the age of 5.
Why?
Because it's not a lifelong immunity. You would have to go back and get boosters for it. So it's going to last that baby 5 years. So you've got 5 years. Yeah, exactly.
That's barely any time to get out there and find some intravenous drugs. I mean, we got to give a child a chance here. It's sad.
So I would say anybody who is all these anti-vax people are just crazy, just start there. Just start at the vaccine that they're going to try to put into newborns, and then see if maybe there's some questions there. I think then you start to question the whole regime at that point.
Absolutely. And then you realize that all those big pharma profits that they're out there protecting are government protected profits because they're allowed to have monopolies.
Yes.
And because without government, there would be no corporations. And if people understood that, then there would be, I think, a change in the way people look at these, big tobacco, big pharma, big whatever, big milk.
Well, but there won't be a change. And the reason there won't be a change is because what I just said, although everything that I just said was 100% true, what I just said is going to is bannable now on Facebook.
Talking about hepatitis?
Talking about saying anything skeptical of vaccines. Actually, I saw recently somebody was quoted, somebody who's heavy on the pro-vaccine. They're actually, speaking of hate speech, trying to get vaccine skepticism to be seen as hate speech.
Awesome. Then we can work on the flat earthers and anybody else that we disagree with, because ultimately it just comes down to disagreement. It's like, what does it hurt for somebody to think there's a flat earth? Honest to God, who cares?
I mean, are they a fucking astronaut?
Yeah. I mean, you had that one guy that was trying to build his own rocket and prove the earth was flat.
Good for him.
I'm like, go, dude. Have fun.
Yeah.
You're not hurting anybody.
Well, it might hurt himself.
Sure, but that's his problem.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You're entitled to be able, if you want to shoot yourself on a rocket, I feel like so long as the trajectory is not going to put it in range of, if you go out to the middle of the fucking desert and you launch yourself off in a rocket and you fucking blow up, okay. Yeah. I mean, you could have been out there skydiving, you could have been hang gliding. We won't stop you from doing that shit. We won't stop you from riding a fucking ATV and doing jumps and shit, or jumps in your truck. You'll die doing that shit too.
Yep. Yeah, and as long as you're not hurting somebody else, right? And I know the argument's going to be, well, if you don't give kids their vaccines, you're going to be hurting them. You're going to be hurting their classmates.
Oh, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. They said, oh no, it's because really it's you hate everyone around.
Yeah. So it's perfectly okay to cut off part of his penis, but you can't.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. But you talk bad about a vaccine, and suddenly you're the Antichrist.
Right. Or you just have reasons why you would not want to inject a newborn.
Yeah.
With something that actually, if you get the insert, it actually says, oh, here are the things that could possibly. There could be seizures.
Yeah.
Could be, sickness, nausea, could have an allergic reaction, could have all of this. And it's like saying no to that.
Mm-hmm. Because that shit happens. The reason it's in the insert is because that shit happens to people.
Exactly.
I hate watching these these commercials on. I generally hate commercials. But yeah, you get these pharmaceutical commercials, and it's like, oh, treat your depression or whatever with this.
A side effect is suicidal thoughts.
And sudden death, and uncontrollable rectal bleeding, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't want to take that. Come on.
When it's a pill for depression and a side effect is suicidal thoughts, I'm like, wait a minute. Tell your doctor if you experience any of the following, and it's like, hold on, wait one fucking second here.
Yeah. I love the one that's like, don't take Teladelafil if you're allergic to Teladelafil. And I'm just like, how the fuck would you know unless you took it? This is, chicken and egg, baby. How are you supposed to know?
We told you.
Yeah.
You're allergic. Well, we're cleared because we told you if you're allergic, don't take it.
Don't take it.
And you took it.
You took it. What kind of idiot takes something they're allergic to? God.
Oh man, it's just God. It's really the whole thing with thought crime is that it becomes a crime to think.
Oh yeah.
Because so much of what all of this is about is it's all about thinking in public. It's about thinking out loud. You know, we say these things, and those of us who are approaching this in an intellectually honest way, at least for me, I'm like, well, it's like that Steven Crowder thing. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
Now, prove me wrong. Like, I'm happy to change my opinion. And things that I try to stick with speaking authoritatively about things that I have spent some time researching, thinking about, talking to other people about. I try. I don't always succeed, but I try. But if someone can, I mean, I've had my mind changed many times.
Me too. That's the fun of it. You know, it's like that. You shouldn't be afraid to say something just because you might be wrong about it,
Right.
or part of it. It shouldn't stop people from saying whatever it is they want to say. And you know, it's like, hey, you learn. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, it is a very. I feel like this last couple of weeks, maybe it's just because I've noticed it more because of that situation. I don't think so. I think there's just these moves being made. I think the whole thing with Alex Jones was a sort of it was what do they call those? Not a milestone. It was like one of these markers, like a mile marker in a way, where we could see like, ooh, something just happened, like something changed. What's next? And it just feels like it's one step after the other, after the other, after the other, and it's all about squashing dissent.
Yeah.
It's all about, we want our narrative back. And I don't know who the we is. That's the weirdest part about it, is that I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. Like, I think that human beings move in a cycle. I think that we don't really understand everything that we're doing. I think that there's a broader organizational structure to humanity that we can't even see. You know, like the Mormons have the beehive as their symbol. Like, it's a pretty esoteric symbol, the beehive. And if you've ever flown over Salt Lake, you can see exactly the reason why, because they are very fucking organized, and it looks like a goddamn beehive from the air. You see it on Google Maps too. You'll be blown away.
A little more wine?
Yes. But I do think that a lot of this is just, it's happening the way it happens, and it's got its own fucking momentum. And thank you. I'm just scared not scared. I'm not even all that worried about it, because I've been expecting it for so long. But it's like, there will be individuals who will take advantage of. Are you good? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it just kept coming out. I was like,
That's
it's an endless bottle. This is amazing.
No, I think that there are going to be individuals who are able to capitalize on this moment. And I think that's what people should be worried about, is when you start to see people who seem like they're way out ahead of this and really taking advantage of the narrative. I think the 2020 election is going to be interesting, because it's going to be all about which person on the Democratic side can best be the mouthpiece for this progressive, reactionary, ban everything, smothering sort of idea.
AOC 2020 confirmed.
She's not running. She's not running. Don't do that. But
they need a charismatic leader. Excuse me.
She might be 2024, dude.
She could be.
Are you okay?
Maybe.
Okay.
You know when you get a really big hit of weed and
Yeah.
you just have that cough? I did not just take a hit of weed.
That was
but
wine. It went down the wrong pipe.
weird.
Yeah, I've had those. I think, like I called that Cory Booker would be in, And now they today the news was that the actress Rosario Dawson and he are dating.
Oh, really?
And
everybody likes her.
They do, and she's a very political animal, and she's very sort of, she's stealthy. She's subtle, but she's very political. And look at you. Are you going to survive, dude? Seriously? Should I mute you? No, I think that's interesting. I think that's maybe the most interesting story of 2020 is Rosario Dawson, Cory Booker, which Cory Booker's gay, by the way. That's the most interesting thing about it. So this
is he sure about that?
This is the line on Cory Booker, man. The line on Cory Booker is that he is a gay man, and that this is so this is a marriage of political convenience, or a relationship of political convenience. Look at you.
I know.
Here, I'll mute you. Get it out. Just go for it. Really go for it. Don't hold back. That is the fucking worst. I had that happen.
All right.
Liberty Forum 2018. So the Liberty Forum before last.
Yeah.
I was sitting and talking with somebody, and I was eating breakfast, and a little piece of my omelet went back into my lung, and it was the worst, dude. Like that, it was just the most uncomfortable I had been in a long fucking time, and it lasted all day. So I'm hoping that I'm not trying to jinx you. No, I think that what we're going to see in 2020 is we're going to see, it's going to be a race to see who can embody this weird, and the thing is, I don't even know what it is. Like, it started out as anti-Trump, but now it's just authoritarian. Yep. It's left authoritarianism. Like, we haven't had left authoritarianism in a long fucking time.
But we have a lot of people that want it.
Yeah, that's the key.
And that's the troubling part for me, is that we do have so many people who are in favor of that. They really want it. Now, they might get it when there's somebody who is saying all the right things and agreeing with their ideas. But
Jesus,
I know, it's still stuck in there. I got stabbed in the throat. But as soon as the power structure shifts, then they're going to be on the wrong side. And I think people don't recognize that,
Should we end this podcast early?
I would hate to do that.
We can. I know the guy in charge. We can. Maybe we will. Maybe you've been attacked. Maybe they're sending the 5G waves,
dude,
straight to your fucking throat, bro.
This could be a 5G attack. The frog living in my throat is now gay, and it's wow, that was rough. I can't wait for the
and you know what?
Dawson.
And my camera just went on the fritz.
Really?
Yeah, it just froze. I think we're under attack. Seriously. Yeah.
I think so too.
Wow, that's
weird.
Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? This what's weird is this actually used to happen during the Vin Armani show for a little period where we were, that's cool. No, this is just the wacky camera that I have. We had this weird period where it was right after we started talking about the CIA and the NSA reporting on like WikiLeaks stuff and all. Oh, really? Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can get my camera back. That's fun. Or it's just, just chalk it up to the game. Oh, wow. We're having one of these situations. Hold on. Let's see what happens. No. I may not get my camera back either. You're coughing. I've got no camera. Let's see. Nope. Not recognized.
Oh, my God.
We may have to end this thing.
All right, so everybody has a little homework to do.
Give them homework. Go.
All right, so if indeed the Cory Booker and Rosario Dawson are going to be a thing, and Rosario Dawson, I'm just going to throw this out there. There were some lines that she did in Clerks 2 about ass to mouth. I'm just saying, great meme stuff right there. Ass to mouth memes. That'd be pretty cool.
Wait, was she in Clerks too?
Wasn't she? I thought she was. Or am I thinking of the wrong person?
No, you might be right. You might be right. Seems like somebody that Kevin Smith would.
Hold on while I check my memory.
Yeah, dude, I'm Mandela affecting you right now. I'm
know.
I don't remember Rosario Dawson in Clerks 2. She very well could have been. That would have been an appropriate person.
Oh wow! How did?
No, she's not.
No, hold on. I went to search.
Okay.
And okay, my phone is doing something.
Are we
very
being?
odd.
So what you're saying is we're being attacked right now.
Like it wouldn't even let me type in, and then it typed in Lily Lou Boone Boutique is what it, and that's I was typing Rosario, and that's what came up, and I'm like, what the hell is happening?
So we are under so right now we're under attack is what's happening.
Yeah.
You guys are witnessing it live. Are we still online?
I don't know.
Are we still online? So somebody says, Pete Raymond's there. Hey, Pete. He says, which Democrat can best go toe-to-toe with that lunatic in the Oval in debates? He's talking about which one of the Democrats can best go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump. I'll tell you who it's not. It's not Elizabeth Warren, for sure. He's already got her number. She's toast.
Wait a minute. Did Donald Trump objectively win any debates? Like if you
Yes.
are a debate student.
Yeah.
So he actually
like if you are like rating him like in a real debate. No, of course not.
No.
But that's not how you win a debate in a U.S. presidential election.
No,
it's reality TV.
It
So
is.
every time when he was like, wrong, nope. And when she said, he didn't pay anything in taxes, and he goes, that's because I'm smart. Like, it's those type of situations. When he brought all of the women that Bill Clinton had sexually harassed or abused and put them in the front row, and then they got the shots of Bill Clinton like doing the side glance and shit, you won.
Yeah.
That's how you win.
It takes charisma and it takes smart politics, and it does not matter what you say.
So somebody said Rosario Dawson was in Clerks 2.
Yes.
So
Ass to mouth.
ass to mouth. Wow, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be that. Oh, dragging that one up, dredging that up. Mm-hmm. Cory Booker.
Yeah, because if she was saying, hey, sometimes it's okay to go ass to mouth, and then, you overlay Cory Booker, I'm just saying, meme territory.
Damn. Damn. I don't think any of them. I think the most likely is Robert O'Rourke, a.k.a. Beto.
Crazy hands.
We've got to... But here's something about the hands. So hands has not been... Because Bill Clinton had the lip... What does he do? He does the lip bite?
Yep. It was a very well-practiced, I feel your pain look.
And then he does... And then, remember, he's the one who instigated this. Because I think people used to point.
Yeah, that's too aggressive.
Well, yeah, it's too aggressive. So he does. And it was like, when he first started doing that, everybody said, this smells like, what is he doing? Like, what is that? What is that? What is that little weird thing where, like, he should be pointing right now, but he's got his thumb. So he's actually, what he's doing is he's pointing with his thumb, isn't he? Mm. Like, it's a thumb point. But he's got the fingers sort of out. I did not have sexual relations
with all of these women.
With every single woman in this room. No.
So it's, wow. There was a bright flash of light outside.
I'm telling you, we're under attack, dude. Oh, it's thunder and lightning.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so it could have actually been like an electrical thing that was doing all of that. You
Yes.
could be under electrical attack right now.
Short circuit happening right here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a brain thing. The what do you get? Like coughing, sneezing. There's a few things like where like electricity can like fuck you up a little bit like that. So you might be under that. You might be under that sort of a lightning attack right now.
It's going to take someone with a great deal of charisma. If you can find someone who has a tremendous amount of charisma, it does not matter what they say. This has been studied, and the last best example of this was Obama.
Oh.
It literally did not matter what he said.
It didn't.
He gets in front of a crowd, and he enthralls the crowd. They are entranced, every word that came out of his mouth.
Yep.
And researchers actually did this.
Silver tongue. He had a silver tongue.
They would go up to people after his speeches and ask, like, wow, did you like the speech? And they're, oh, one of the best speeches I've ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm. What did he say?
What did he say? And they couldn't, like, name anything.
Right. Well, it's not about what you say. It's about how you say it. Well, that was, I mean, Hitler with the dramatic poses and all of the this and that and everything, and they're like, oh, he did that because the crowds were far away. It's like, no. It was because it's 80%. It's more than that. It's more than 80% of your communication is your body language. Way more. Well, I mean, you could say 80% is, it's not just body language, it's also tone.
Yep.
Tone is very important. You're communicating way more emotion with tone. Mm-hmm. The content of your words, is not really that important. And the reason why it's not that important is because you can sort of communicate with somebody when you don't even speak the same language through just body language and tone.
Yep. That's the way we do it with dogs.
Sure.
That's all they know.
They don't know no fucking language. They don't know.
No, but they know your tone. They know your body language.
They know if you're angry. They know if you're, exactly. And, who's got charisma in that bunch? You've got Kamala Harris, absolutely not. There's no way. I don't even know why she thought she was going to enter into that. She's just toxic. She's a former cop, attorney general. She was a lock 'em up type.
She should have run as a Republican.
Oh, she would have killed it as a fucking Republican. And Willie Brown basically is out there saying he was banging her and she basically slept her way to the top. That's not going to work. Cory Booker, loose cannon, not good pit bull, good attack dog. I don't think people will really want him as president of the United States. He's not going to appeal to most of America. Right. Elizabeth Warren, just weak. Just fucking weak.
Yeah.
I think Beto, dude. I think Robert. He's tricked people, into believing that he might be part Latino, which he's not. That was smart. That was actually a smart move. That it's like, oh yeah, when I went down, I think he was like a Christian missionary or some shit like that, and he was like, yeah, when I went down to Guatemala or something. Yeah, they started calling me Beto, and so I just kept that. So it's like, okay, Robert, he's from a relatively wealthy family, wealthy background. He's got the pedigree. He almost beat Ted Cruz in a pretty Republican, pretty Republican district. He's down there on the border. He can really make the border he can embarrass Trump with the wall shit. That's the thing, because he'll be like, I live on the border. He lives in El Paso,
wow,
which is across the river from fucking Juarez, where all the terrible, murders, those crazy murders of women, where they were just finding women just raped and murdered everywhere, and they're like, we don't know who's doing this, and then kind of Jack the Ripper style. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
So he can really speak to I'm in the trenches. I know. I think he's got weirdly enough, I think he's got the best chance, man.
Wow. And Fallon just did a skit on him. So usually that's how it goes.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, so
just like in the last day or two.
He's trying to put him into the consciousness.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that he's got a thing,
Yep.
I think having a thing Like he's got the hand thing.
Yep.
Having a thing that people can hate you for, having a quirk, you got to have it. It's important. Like Donald Trump and his hair.
Yeah.
Right? You got to have, because if you have a superficial thing
Right.
that people
doesn't
can
really matter.
attack you for,
Yep.
then you get them attacking you for the hands, for the hair, for the orange. You notice now that he's president, he's a lot less orange.
Sure.
Because it was like when it was on the campaign trail, fucking triple orange me. No, because I want all the criticism, because that won't sway anybody who's in the middle. The people who are in the middle are like, well, I'm not going to not vote for him because he's got bad hair. Like, that's fucking stupid.
Right. Because the people in the middle typically think more than the people on the sides.
That's why they're in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to sway the people. The people who are already against you, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
They're never going to. If you were against Donald Trump from the jump, there's nothing Donald Trump can do
No.
to convince you. The people who were for Donald Trump, there's nothing that Donald Trump can do that will make them not be for Donald Trump.
Yep.
So who do you have? You've got this middle. And those are people who are actually thinking. And what the person's, those are not the people who are going to vote based on somebody's hair or based on somebody's skin. Those people have already self-separated.
Right.
They're already over. Look at how orange he is. I could never vote for. Well, you're already fucking over here, dude.
Yeah.
You've already self-separated. Right? Now it's like it's going to be the thinking people that are going to make the decision. Mm-hmm. And those people, you want to have a thing. You want to have a fucking quirk. So it's like,
well, especially something like this, where it can become a self-deprecating joke.
yes.
He can easily take it in front of a crowd and go, "Hi, I'm Beto O'Rourke," and people laugh.
Well,
and think it's hilarious.
that was Trump dancing on Saturday Night Live to the Drake song.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he was willing to go out and turn himself into a meme, but one of his own choosing.
Exactly. And that's what Fallon did for Beto. He did.
Was he doing the hands and stuff?
Yeah. The whole video of it.
So we already know what the thing is going to be. So it's going to be Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah. Yeah, Fallon, I think the title of Fallon's video, it's on YouTube, is something like Beto O'Rourke's hands run for president or something like that. I don't know. It definitely focused on the hands.
Right.
But I'm like, what they've done is they've taken something superficial, something that does not matter, that will become a self-deprecating joke at some point, and it'll be endearing. By the time 6 months goes by, people are going to be like, oh, I love that guy. Isn't that great?
I love him with the the fact that we're already talking about, like the fact that he's got a thing already. I know nothing about this dude's policies, where he stands on anything. I know nothing.
You just told me where he lived. I didn't even know that.
There you go. Yeah. He lives in El Paso.
Yeah.
He actually lives in some sort of like famous house. I read an article about him.
Oh.
The house that he lives in was where I believe. Well, it must have been Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa came and met with some general to talk about, trying to end the Civil War on the border or something like that. So it's got some like historical context, which is rather interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's interesting. He's going to be like a, you've got to remember this, how when Bill Clinton came out and was playing the saxophone.
Oh, yeah.
And then everybody was like, oh, he's the first black president.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's going to be like the first, people are going to be like, oh, he's the first Latino president. He speaks fluent Spanish because he was a missionary. So that's going to work in his favor.
Yeah.
He's got the Beto O'Rourke thing. People are going to think that he's half Mexican.
Yeah.
They're going to think he's half Mexican. Because people don't follow up on this shit, right? And then somebody's going to be like, yo, he's just a white guy. He's not Mexican. And what's going to be funny, watch this. This is my Vinstradamus prediction, is that people are going to jump down that person's throat who just spoke the truth.
Right.
And they're going to be like, you're a racist. he's just mixed or whatever. Like, no, he's Latino. Like, you're not allowed to say who's Latino. I'm Latino and I say he's Latino and blah, 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 but he's not at all. He's Irish, fucking Irish.
Yeah.
You know? Straight through and through. It's I know. I think he's who's going to run. I think he's going to lose. And I think it's almost guaranteed that AOC is going to be 2024.
Awesome.
I think it's pretty much guaranteed that she's going to be president.
Well, or it'll be her versus The Rock.
If he runs as a Republican. But I think it's going to be her versus Mike Pence.
Oh, really?
And she'll decimate. They're already setting Mike Pence up.
You know, this is what kills me, is like, instead of looking out at the roster of people and going, okay, this person has the best chance of winning, it's like they give it to people who it's their turn. And it drives me crazy. They did that with Dole.
Well, they didn't do that with with their turn. Yes, I understand. So Hillary Clinton as opposed to what was Dingleberry's name? Biden.
Biden, yeah.
They didn't let Grandpa Biden run.
No, because it was Hillary's turn, and with Dole, it was Dole's turn.
Dole's turn, right?
And I'm just like, that guy's never going to win.
Mopped.
Ever.
He got fucking mopped, dude.
Yeah. He had no chance.
None.
I'm like, okay, I guess they're just giving this one away. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So this guy, I gotta check him out because
he's going to be the guy.
I think you're right. This is going to be the guy, and it'll be interesting to see how the Trump team addresses that. Because
he can murder Trump on the wall. He
Totally
can
could.
murder him on the wall because it's like, look, every single time Trump says something about the wall, he's going to be like, Donald, I fucking live there. I can see the border from my house. Mm-hmm. I've lived there my entire life.
You got to be careful with that because Sarah Palin said she could see Russia from her house, and look how that turned out. So,
What will be interesting is who he picks as his running mate.
Yes. It's not Biden.
Does he pick from him? It might be.
Could be Biden.
That would be so weird to be like, no. I think he'd probably. Would they risk it and pick a woman? Would they do that? Would they risk it and pick a woman and risk losing? Oh, that's so rough. That's such a hard one, right? Because he's the type of guy who I think could actually get some conservative votes. And he clearly did. Well, he did against Ted Cruz because he almost beat Ted Cruz in a conservative district.
Wow.
I mean, he's a Texan.
Yeah.
So he's got that whole... Look, he's got the Southern appeal. He can appeal to the South. He can appeal to rural America. He's from El Paso.
Yeah.
He can. He's got the cowboy swagger thing. He can appeal to rural America in a way that Donald Trump, the city slicker from New York, simply can't.
Yeah. And if he can actually put some sentences together and win a debate for real.
Oh, he can. I think he can.
Yeah, that could be serious.
I know. I think he's the strongest contender, and I think that he. Well, what's going to be interesting is in order to get through the process, he's basically got to destroy two socialists. The two socialist candidates and the two black candidates. So basically, he's got to knock out socialism and he's got to knock out identity politics.
Or not. Because if everybody sees him as partially Latino, then it's not really a racist thing.
Well, that's interesting.
Because if it's a white guy versus a black guy, it's obviously racist every time.
Right.
But if it is a, potentially half Latino guy, well, then race has nothing to do with it.
Right. It's an interesting point. I wonder if I think we might have gone down.
Are we down?
I don't know. I'm looking. No, we're live.
We're under attack.
We're live. Yeah. I think it's interesting. I think Trump wins that one. I think Trump wins.
It depends. I mean, I think that...
Well, because this guy's not... The thing about if it was O'Rourke, is he's not that guy. Like, he's the person who's going to take over for Trump is going to be the standard bearer of this new thing, this new Orwellian 1984 thing. And I think that's AOC. I think she is the standard bearer for that. And I think they're setting her up for that. The media is setting it. The media would love her to be the next president. They'd fucking love it because it's like you get Trump again. You get left Trump.
Oh, yeah. Because think about how mad the left was. The left was so mad. They were so heartbroken. They were so disappointed.
Oh, the pictures. No!
Yeah.
No, people like, oh my God, I can't believe. Oh, comfort me.
I mean, there was real panic out there, you know, and people
nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. You know, nothing's ever going to change. But were you telling me that you were having a conversation with somebody and they were like, oh my God, I can't believe he actually got elected. Like, there's literally going to be war in the streets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, there's not.
No.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, my, I guess I can I say this now? He's now moved from university. I'll say this. You can go and look at the Google meeting, but this was happening all over the place in academia, in Silicon Valley, in all of the bastions of sort of the left. Mm-hmm. People were coming in and being like, okay, I know that all of us here have had it's been tough.
Oh, the Google meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
holy crap.
You know, I mean, I know that if there's people who need, to talk to somebody, if you're feeling like, you might want to hurt yourself or there's something wrong, to like, whoa, wait a fucking minute. Wow, wait. This is crazy. You're all a bunch of crazy people because it's not that fucking serious. Like, I don't know who you thought this guy was or what this dude was. Because honestly, what was his two things? Build that wall, lock her up. And it's like, do you really think Hillary Clinton is not a crook? Like, do you really think that? Okay, all right. But it's just one person that he's talking about locking up. And then build that wall. I don't know where all of this, and still the narrative continues because people are saying, oh, this guy who shot up New Zealand and everything, inspired by Trump, and it's like, everybody's like, Trump, he's so hateful, he's such a racist, all this, and hate speech, and I'm like, where? Can you show me the quote? Can you show me the racist quote? Please.
Dude, that doesn't matter. You just look at him. I mean, the guy is just exuding hate. What is it, a coincidence that only Fox News carry it? They're the hate station. Fox News, the hate station. They put all the Trump stuff out because it's all hate speech.
It's crazy.
This is what people actually think.
And the thing is, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I've said from the beginning, he's a narcissistic sociopath. There's no question about it. But anybody who wants to be president is a sociopath from the jump.
He can't tell me what to do.
I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but at the same time, I'm also not a fan of the straw man, right? So it's like you can't just present this character, this demagogue. It's like, hold on, we've all known Donald Trump for decades. This country has known Donald Trump. This was a guy who wrestled Jim McMahon in a haircutting match.
Yeah, Vince. Yeah.
Who did I
Vince
say?
McMahon.
Jim
You
McMahon?
said Jim McMahon.
Vince McMahon. I do that all the time.
I think wasn't Jim McMahon a quarterback for the
Bears? Yeah. I do that all the time. I've had a few drinks and Jim and Vince McMahon. No, he wrestled fucking Vince McMahon.
Absolutely.
On WWF.
WWF.
It was F at the time.
Yep. So here's a weird factoid that I just finished verifying in my memory banks on
Google?
Wikipedia.
Oh, God.
So how old is AOC?
35.
No, she is 29.
Oh, 29.
So she was born in October of 1989.
I was in 7th grade.
I was in a heavy metal band.
Okay.
So she will be, by the time the November elections of 2024 come around, she will have just turned 35.
Yep. So that's their. Yep. She's running.
That is the minimum age, 35.
Yep.
You got to be
She's
35
right.
to be president. She will be 35 by like a few days.
She's gonna be. It's how they're gonna mobilize the youth vote.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the minority vote. It's gonna be the urban vote.
Yep. And the socialist vote.
Socialist vote.
That's 20% right there.
The green vote.
Yep.
The female vote, will it? Oh, she's so dumb. But the thing is, she might, in 4 years, she'll probably clean it up. Like, she's going to get better. You know,
yeah.
she's a rookie. She's making rookie mistakes.
She is
You know, they
making
call it
rookie mistakes.
rookie mistakes. She's making rookie mistakes.
Yep.
She's going to learn from those mistakes.
Yep. And a lot of the stuff that people could use against her is getting cleared out right now.
That's right.
You know, so
now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Now's the time. Get it done. Get it over with.
And look at the reactions, right? Like they put out this dancing video where she was dancing to something, right?
I don't mind that. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I honestly didn't care. But what was really funny was that everybody was like, oh my God, look at all the Republicans freaking out about this dancing video.
Were they? Were
No,
Republicans freaking out? No.
They weren't.
No.
But the Democratic line was that there was a bunch of conservatives and Republicans that were just up in arms about this dancing video. And I'm just like, pretty sure they're not, because I actually watched both sides.
Yeah,
and
nobody
cared.
I don't know anybody who thought one way or it's like, okay, she's in a dancing video.
Yeah, she was a kid. She's still a kid, but she was more of a kid back then.
But I don't care about. What I say is at least she can dance. You know what I mean? Obama on Ellen was fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
I was like, can you please? You're the first brown person in the Oval Office. Can you at least have a little more than? Can you be better than Carlton?
Dude.
That's all I'm asking.
What? Nobody can be better than Carlton. Dude, Bill Clinton was the first brown man.
Right, yeah. No, he was the first black president. First black president. He was a white guy, but he was the first black president.
Yeah, I'm just thankful that the camera had not been invented when I was her age. So, there would have been some embarrassing pictures, embarrassing, carvings.
Well, no YouTube at the very least. I think she's super dangerous, dude. I think she's one of the most dangerous people who has entered into the political scene. She's an absolute joke right now, but what she's doing is she's basically blown apart the Overton window for the left. That it's like she's right now saying the most ridiculous things, and she's going to keep saying them. And so to move the window of what is considered completely unthinkable, she's expanding it, and she's going to expand it over the next 4 years.
So I don't know that she's necessarily being dismissed. I think she is incredibly dangerous. I think that she is probably the future, president-elect of the country, because I think that if you compare her with Bernie, I think most people, even the people that support Bernie, look at Bernie kind of like a cranky, wacky old dude. It's kind of like how libertarians look at Ron Paul. It's like, his ideas are great. I love his ideas. He's kind of a cranky old dude. I think, Bernie is that guy. And when they compare Bernie to somebody like AOC, they're like, but she's the future. She's where we need to invest because
Bernie is done. He's done. Like
he is done.
You notice everybody was talking about him last election.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck about him.
No, because they know he can't win. There's absolutely no way he can win.
Well, all of his talented staff that actually put together his whole brand, they all went over to the Justice Democrats, which are the ones who basically put in AOC, that Talib
oh my God,
woman, and then
Wow.
What's the other one? Aisha, I'm forgetting her last name. The other black freshman woman, congresswoman.
I don't remember.
And so those three they're basically the people that were from the Bernie campaign have been behind their campaign. So no, it's she would be an incredibly dangerous president because she really doesn't give a fuck. Like, she is an authoritarian.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is what she believes. It's like, even with like Hillary, right? It's like Hillary was dangerous because she's a criminal. She's incredibly smart. She knows what she's doing. She's manipulating. I mean, you talk about 4D chess. I mean, she had all of the fingers and all the pies. I mean, she knew exactly what was going on with everybody, and she was controlling it all. She was very much like, the Emperor in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So Hillary would have been dangerous in that way. AOC is dangerous in that she is, what's the phrase? Possessed.
She's a true believer. She's ideologically possessed.
Yes. And that is her. And she genuinely believes like these ideas are right if only I had enough guns and soldiers to implement my ideas.
Well, this is the not real socialism argument, right? That it's always like, well, if it was me and not Stalin, if it was me and not Mao, I could have made it work. Those guys, of course they did it wrong. That was not real socialism. And it's like we just haven't had a left authoritarian in this country in so long. I think probably because like Roosevelt was so undercover with the socialism, right? That it was like a flirtation with social. It was kind of like, we'll pull some things from what these people are. I mean, Hitler was fucking Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Time Man of the Year. Stalin was Time Man of the Year like 4 times.
Yeah.
So during that run up to World War II and then after, I mean, the Soviets were our allies in World War II. So it was like there was a positive feeling, and maybe can we pull some of the things that they're doing, not everything, but like some of the things that they're doing, and see if that works. And so it's like, you had the whole McCarthyism, Red Scare sort of situation, but that was more about competition, less about ideology. It was like, well, we don't want, the establishment in the United States doesn't want there to be a mass movement, a political groundswell that replaces us with the things that are happening over there, right? But that was because the U.S. had acted positively towards socialism. She, though, she has the capability to usher in a dystopia for the United States that is akin to, honestly, seriously, Mussolini in Italy, Mao in China, Lenin in Russia, fucking Hitler in Germany, Pol Pot. Like, she really could be that person, because I see in her that I think she really would feel morally justified. Like the thing with the Wells Fargo, like, why shouldn't you pay? Don't you think Wells Fargo should pay for an oil spill cleanup? Don't you think that, if you gave a loan to the people who constructed the pipeline and the pipeline leaks, shouldn't you have to pay for the leak because you funded the project? And the guy was like, well, no, because we don't operate the pipeline. That's not how this works. But I totally feel like she would be like, you either pay, or we're putting you in prison. Yeah. You're going away. You, the CEOs. I feel like she is the person who would feel morally justified to line bankers as CEOs up on a firing line and start killing people. I really do feel that way.
Yeah, because that's how she feels. Like, I get that sense from her, that she is so possessed by her ideology that she genuinely believes that all this stuff is true. Like, you look at a lot of politicians and you can tell they're acting. They're up there, they're saying their lines, they're doing their thing, because they genuinely just don't care. They are saying the things that resonate with the audience that they're talking to.
Yes, they're cynical.
They're cynical.
And that's what I've said about her, is that there's not cynicism there.
No, she genuinely believes it. And that's why she's dangerous, because she actually thinks this stuff is real.
Right.
And she thinks that her way is the right way forward, the right path that we should all be following. And if we're not going to get on board, she'll make us get on board.
See, and this is the unfortunate outcropping that happens when you push an agenda in a cynical way. Some percentage of the people actually believe it. Mm-hmm. And this is something that Orwell explores so well in 1984, is the difference.
Man, that guy was on fire.
God damn it. Why was he such a fucking genius? Well, one of the reasons why was he was a fucking socialist. And he fought in the Spanish Civil War, you know what I mean? He was a socialist. He was looking from the inside, and he saw, this is what... I think he saw the paths that socialism could go down, and I think that he wanted a socialist path. Mm-hmm. I think he did. But I think that 1984, more than anything, is meant to be a warning to his socialist comrades of, if we don't get a handle on this, this is what it will become. And it did become that in the Soviet Union. It did become that in Nazi Germany. But but he was writing, science fiction.
Right.
The technology was, the surveillance technology in particular was so superior in the propaganda technology, the communications technology was superior in the world that he envisioned. It's set, 30 some odd years, and it's 84 to 48, 37 years in the future, supposedly. Yeah. But this is what happens when you are trying to score political points, and in so doing, like Hillary Clinton, you come out with this pablum, right? Mm-hmm. But it's cynical. You don't fucking believe this shit. No. She didn't believe any of the fucking shit that she was talking. None of that. She was just about enriching herself and enriching her family and having more power and more power and more power. But you do that long enough, you educate the children in the shit, you go through it, and you start popping out true believers.
Yeah, especially when you can go back and wipe out any of the negative coverage, so that people actually think that there is a good version of socialism.
Yeah, so
that just hasn't been tried yet.
And that's key. And I mean, that brings us, and we're almost done for today. Yeah. And that brings us full circle to the idea of what is the danger? What is the danger of starting to memory hole the people who are raising questions? Because then the official narrative, which isn't what happened, but when everybody's dead, when there's no one to refute what happened, and all you have is the official narrative.
Or Wikipedia that can be edited by anybody.
Yeah, how many people actually go in and look at the edits?
Well, I do, but I'm weird.
Right.
Nobody.
It's nobody.
Nobody.
It's nobody. And I don't even do it on all of them.
No. Once in a while. It's not a continuous thing for me. Once in a while, I'll go check it out.
Very few people.
Well, sometimes I make edits. But it's, yes, where will we find the pictures of the burned, naked, Asian children running down the road because we've just firebombed their village? Where are we going to find those pictures?
Well, you clearly won't, because I don't know whether it was a member of Canadian Parliament or it was a prime minister or somebody got their account actually suspended on Facebook for posting that exact picture.
Yeah. Yep.
And now we're reaching a point where they're like, if you share this, if you spread this historical video, so go back, we wouldn't have the Zapruder film.
No.
There would be no Zapruder film if we were in the same environment as we are now. It would be,
president gets shot.
Yes. No, nope. You can't see it.
Yeah. Oh, it'll upset people. If we show them this, video,
Yeah, people
will be upset.
People should imagine that. Imagine that. No, if that would have happened today, there would be no Zapruder film.
Yep.
No one would know what happened. No one would be able to see it, because what happens when you see the Zapruder film? Well, then you question it. If there's no Zapruder film, there's no fucking Oliver Stone with JFK. Seriously.
Yeah.
If there's no Zapruder film, there's nothing but the official narrative.
Yep.
There's no one to analyze it. There's no one to question it. There's no question about what happened. And then we've always been at war with Eurasia.
Always.
That's it, man.
Man, what a great freaking show. God damn it.
Attacks, lightning, coughing, AOC, Beto, a fake Mexican.
A little bit of pro wrestling.
Some pro wrestling thrown. There's always a little pro wrestling thrown in there. Yeah, we've got, I don't know, we've got some what do they say? Do they think Trump is as bad as Trump?
Yes, Trump is as bad as Trump.
So here's the thing. There's some MAGA person jumped in. It's really hard to know. They're like, enjoy. So I don't know what they're mad at exactly. Reminds me of Rogan. Enjoy socialism, boys. Later, maybe because we actually are just not homers. Maybe because we're not like
dope.
No, not that. like home team. It is very interesting to where it's like just being a thinking person. You can't win.
No.
It's like if I say, I think it's because I said I don't like Donald Trump.
I don't either.
But you know what? I don't like fucking anybody who would run for president. If you think that you could rule over 300 million people, you are a fucking asshole out of the gate.
Yeah.
Period. That's how I operate. Like, if you think that you are qualified to make decisions for 300 million people, you can go fuck yourself. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and then think about all the people that think they are called to do that.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole. It's like
you're even more of it now.
Yeah.
So you're basically a sociopath or a psychopath. You're basically a narcissist, and so I don't like any of them. So it's so very strange that someone would be like, "Oh, enjoy socialism. If you judge people on their merits, oh my God, you're a socialist." And it's like, no, motherfucker, I don't like the other guy either.
Wait, so socialists judge people on their merits? When did that start? Is that the new socialism? Okay, that must be the new socialism.
It's a very, very strange world we're entering into. It's much, much easier to just be, you know what? Fuck it, folks. Just take a side. Just pick a side. Just pick a side.
Pick a card, any card.
Pick a side. Dig a fucking trench. Sit in that motherfucker while they lob mustard gas at you, and just watch your fellow people on your side just die, and the other people on the other side will just do that too, and I'll just go somewhere else. That's
Somalia. We're all supposed to go to Somalia, I guess. I don't know why.
It's a libertarian paradise.
That's what they keep saying is, hey, if you don't like it here, go to Somalia.
Well, if people want to, you can go to Bitbacker at any time if you enjoy the... somebody sent the link to the New Zealand video. Is in a 4chan link. Thank you, brother.
Excellent.
Yes. So if people want to go to 4chan and donate, you can do that at bitbacker.io.
One question.
4chan,
is it in...
No, Bitbacker. Bitbacker, not 4chan.
Is the 4chan link under B or Paul?
I don't know because I don't see the link here. I don't see a link. This person... That's interesting. This person had said, link to NZ video you asked for is in the 4chan link I posted. I need to let you know that I don't see a link, my friend. I don't see a 4chan link. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe they are scrubbing those as well. Wow, that would be interesting if they already had an algorithm doing that. Yeah, I don't see. Oh no, maybe there's a live chat link. Let's see. Let's look, because I really am interested now. Yes, there is one. Okay, cool. So we're gonna watch it. Thanks, man, and thank all of you. If you want to join us, bitbacker.com/powerchat/Vin Armani. You can go. You can see the old chat. What happened? Thank you to Tao Jones, who sent over some BCH to us. Said, love to discuss the future of BCH. That's an ongoing discussion, man. That is an ongoing discussion. It's a multi-generational project that we got going on. Thank you for your support. Dave, anything to leave us off to say goodbye with?
No, I actually thought the way you summarized everything earlier with the reference to the always fighting Eurasia, I think that was genius, and I think we should just leave it at that.
Okay, great. Well, we will see you guys again next week on Destination Unknown.